I have a friend in Nashville, Tennessee. I was up there for a grace conference 2 or 3 months ago and preached in his church on Sunday morning. He's a beloved friend, and his church is in the worst area of Nashville. And it's packed. It's become a mega church with ragamuffins. And when my friend, his name is Ray Ortland, got up to do the call to worship, I expected he would say what every preacher says, but he didn't. You know what he said? He said, if you are marginalized, if you have sinned and you have sinned big and you think God is through with you, if you are sometimes very lonely and afraid and depressed, is sometimes you're doubting and you wonder if you're even saved, Jesus says, welcome. You've come to the right place. But the problem is that they don't come to the right place sometimes. I love Northland. And if I were a pagan, I would still come here for the worship. I mean, the music is so cool and so good and so different, I would come, but most won't. So what do you do about the uninvolved? In a moment, we're going to talk about it, but first I want to go down a side road. And the side road is this. Sometimes the pain is so bad for those who are excluded that they will do anything to be included. I've taught this text 1,000 times. Every time I teach it, I think that's a dumb prostitute. You know, she's not only a sinner, she's dumb. And as Billy Sunday said, a sinner can repent, but stupid's forever. I mean, if you're going to crash a party, do not, if you're a prostitute, crash a party for Pharisees. I mean, if she had any smarts, she would have waited outside until the party was over, and when Jesus came out, she would have cornered him with her ointment and her tears. But she had to go in and cry. That's dumb. But this week, as I've looked at this text again, I've realized that it's not dumbness, it's pain. A number of years ago, Steve Camp brought a bunch of Christian musicians here to Orlando to do a concert and to raise money for AIDS research. He figured he ought to have a preacher as a part of it, so Steve called me up and said, would you come and say something spiritual? And I said I would. We had it, believe it or not. These were the days when Benny Hinn's church was in Orlando. We had it at Benny Hinn's church. We rented that place out. And it was a great evening. It really was. The music was outstanding. What I said was not half bad. It was just one of those nice evenings. One young man who was dying of AIDS got off his deathbed and he came to sing a duet with Steve Camp. It was so good. And then the young man gave his testimony. This is what he said. It wasn't about sex. It really wasn't. I would have loved anybody who loved me back.